I was with another company, and this was right before MWR Life came to me. I thought it was by chance, but turns out they prospected me from a pool in Dubai that I wasn't even at. That's another story for another day. But Jen and I have known each other for years. And when I talk to Jen, we just goof about stuff. We talk about clothes, we talk about the industry, we talk about people we know, like who's doing what, what's going on with this, what's going on with your family, how's California, tell me about your bronzer, stuff like that. Okay. So I called her one day and I'm like, listen, I'm like, I got an itch over something somebody said to me. We used to do this travel company. It was a blip, like a little blip in time. Okay. It was barely anything, right? And we had so much fun. We met before that at another speaking event, and we just had so much fun together. So I called her and I'm like, listen, there's this travel thing, and I think I want to do it. Like, remember how much fun we had at don't say that name, at the other lifestyle company? And Jen was like, yeah, but I'm coaching and I don't want to do anything. My life is beautiful. Like, I love my life. I don't want to do anything. I'm not doing it. I'm like, all right, fine. I was like, maybe you should just, talk about it. Like, we can talk about it. And I kept messaging her like, okay, I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm doing it. And then I talked to Nikki Ribbs, who's number one in Canada, and she's like fireball, like love the girl. Okay. She was already like, if you're gonna do it, I'll do it. Whatever. I'm like, okay. So I called Jen again, and I think I texted her, and it was like 1:11 or 11:11 or whatever. I don't even know. I just picked up the phone and I'm like, listen, I'm doing this. I'm just gonna do it. I have to do it. And she picked up the phone and called me. She's like, all right, tell me everything. Like, what is it? If I wouldn't have picked up, she said no multiple times. She told me how much she loved her life. She didn't have any interest. And I talked to her all the time about bronzer, right? About dumb stuff. But I just kept going and kept going and kept going and followed that process of the conversation. Okay. And I just noticed this when you were talking, Jen, that conversation has the word convert in it. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, so convert with conversation. However, at that moment, I was like, listen, I think they want us to go to Spain and see what their culture is about. Do you think, and I'd already asked Nikki, I'm like, listen, I think they want us to go to Spain. She couldn't go. But I knew I was going to ask Jen. And I was like, Jen, do you want to go to Spain? Like, let's go to Spain. She's like, passport. I'm like, oh shit. Like, what are we going to do now? And it was just kind of kismet. And I was like, no, we're getting on the plane. We're just going to go and we're going to see what's going to happen. And Jen, I don't know, you want to say something about that? Because if I wouldn't have kept messaging her, I got her no. I got her dang no, like loud and clear, okay? And it still was just kind of like, I heard you, but here, listen to this. Like, you don't understand. And I wasn't sold 100% on the company at that point. I didn't even have the belief that I had today. I was just like, this sounds amazing. Freedom, fun, you know, lifestyle, traveling, Gucci purses on the back end. Like, what in the French toast are we doing here? Why are we not doing this? So when I called her and said, let's go to Spain, she, what did you say, Jen?
I mean, I was like, first of all, are you serious? She then got Ilian on the phone, and Ilian was like, okay. And you know how Ilian talks, and I always butcher his accent, and he's like, why do you make him sound like that? But I just have to say that Ilian gets on, and he's like, I will fly if I give you a plane ticket. And I go, Ilian, my passport's expired. I can't even go if I wanted to go. And he's like, I trust you'll figure it out if I get you a plane ticket. So you guys, so here we are. No one's in North America. Heather and I go. I've been told before there's no one in North America, and that's not true, but this is actually true. So Heather and I say yes because I'm like, number one, I knew in my soul I wasn't completely happy. There was a little piece there that I was like, oh. And so the fact that she still stayed posture, and we were talking about this for some of you guys who are wondering, if you still stay certain and you stay in your posture and conviction that this is the vehicle, don't forget to follow up because has this yes changed my life? Yes.
Yes.
Les
Yes.
has changed my freaking life. And it's changed my kids'
Yes.
lives and my grandchildren's life. And so because of Heather's persistency and being like, fine, I'm going. And I was like, dang it, she's gonna do it without me. And so I didn't like that feeling. And so I was like, all right, I drove within 24 hours to get a passport and then got on a plane. We both had no clue what we were doing. We're like on different planes. I'm like, are you good? Are you in the whatever seat? You guys, we were like probably in economy. We didn't care. We were going to Spain to have the opportunity of a lifetime, and this is it. And I can tell you, Heather, I'm so thankful for that phone call. I'm thankful for the follow-up. Thankful that you didn't give up. And also, we sat in Spain after we saw the first day of this culture, which Tony can now attest that when MWR Life gets in you, this is why you got to get to a life experience or it's not that you're in the company. It's that when the company gets in your soul, you can't help but talk about it because there is no other way than to explain. Like you start living, you feel like I have felt guilty for living for 49 years. I'm just going to be honest. And now I feel like it's my job to live. So I'm like, I feel less guilty living because it's actually my job. And we sat in a bed together and we're like, can you imagine thousands of lives? This room had like 2,000 or maybe 1,500. And we're like, we're going to have to launch North America, which OMG. But then that was the next story. But Heather, thank you.
My kids are thanking me right now because I changed from what I was doing just before this to here because their life is different. Okay. And it's not just money, it's how happy I am. It's how different my life looks. It's how my mood changed because I feel confident again. You can feel that way too.
There's an energy exchange. I think when you spend and invest in yourself, you're betting on yourself. You actually become the next version. For some of you guys, you probably actually need the pressure. You need the like, I said yes to myself. I'm investing in the next version of myself. When I said yes to Spain or any mastermind or any coaching thing or any event, I'm like, I'm going to go be. Did I think I was going to be double diamond? No, Heather and I were just like, we'll be happy if we're diamond by the whatever amount of time. But because I made the decision and then I decided, like, who's the girl that has to do the actions? You actually become the next version of yourself by being like, I bet on myself. I'm going to be the next Diamond in Iowa, Brian, or the next whatever city, state, or province you are in. Maybe you want to be jade. Maybe you want to be pearl. Maybe you want to be gold, whatever that is. You have to take that investment in yourself to like build your brand, be around the top leaders, ask the questions, get the videos, see Yoni in a cowboy hat and Ilian coming all the way from Europe and overalls in a cowboy hat. I mean, that alone, I'm like, like those are the things that when you invest in yourself, you all of a sudden like it's like you step into the next version. I guarantee it. If you have not booked your ticket and all of a sudden you book it, you're like, this is my company. This is where I'm going to make an income. This is where I'm going to go travel more. I'm going to go book the trip to Greece because I've already said I'm going. So that's it, just you become a different person by saying yes.